All right, so Naya midrange. The core of this deck was submitted by a viewer, but I had permission to tweak it, and I was poking at this off stream a little bit because it's tweaking it off stream a little bit. So I think I like the core of Gekron here. We got a bunch of really resistant threats and a lot of different ways to turn card advantage. Then we've got History of Benalia, which is great, and Heroic Reinforcement as well, just kind of smash people. I really like both Response, Resurgence, and Integrity Intervention. I think these are really flexible cards that we'll probably start seeing more play. At some point, would not be surprised. Of course, they might also just not be good enough, and I'm just a sucker for, like, pseudo-constructed playable combat tricks. So let's see how this goes. Can you explain what makes it mid-range? Because I have a clear misconception about mid-ranges. I don't know. Like, mid-range just means you're not quite... Like, I wouldn't consider this deck to be as aggressive as, say, mono red or mono blue, but I think it's not quite a control deck, right? So, like, the fact that there's no one-drops in this deck, and, like, there's definitely... This is a mid-range deck that has an aggressive slant, so, like, generally speaking, mid-range is a pretty encompassing archetype. There's mid-range... There's a lot of decks that fall into the mid-range camp, and usually you will describe a mid-range deck as being aggressively slanted or controlling slanted. So I would definitely describe this as a mid-range deck that's got a more of an aggressive slant to it, but I definitely think it falls closer to the middle of the spectrum. These are all subdecks this evening, and we'll kind of tune as we go. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on the draw with the scry. Perfect. There's a 2 on top. I say this seems like pretty good with like any 2 or 3. Like we have all of our colors. In my 3-color decks, I'm usually more willing to keep a little bit sketchy hands like this if they have all the colors in them, and this hand does so. And I've got like 2 turns to draw like another 2 or a 3 here to like curve out nicely. No, I don't think anything like that happens too frequently. I think a lot of that is just confirmation bias. We have a Syncopate or a Scatter here. Syncopate, sure. So it looks like something more controlling. Not super excited to draw an Integrity Intervention against a control deck necessarily, especially blue-black control. Integrity's like okay against red-based control decks that can counter the removal spells effectively, making your creatures bigger. Yeah, I got that going for us. This card's a little bit small, so it'll be a 1/1 that gets bigger. That got a scatter, sure. You have scattered my 1/1. I wonder if they thought that card had hexproof. I did not burn player. Speculating on modern is just pointless. Let's just keep it out of the chat. It just like doesn't do anything. Yeah, Wednesdays, I'm scheduled to do a double, so it's on the schedule on the website. My plans are to do a few hours, 5 to 6 hours in the morning and afternoon, and then late night into morning. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess it's actually not that unfortunate. I get to like bin a land here and then like play Vivien and shoot this. I guess that's actually just fine. It's one of the reasons why Vivien's so good in this format. There's so many like powerful threats that are flying creatures that she just gets to shoot down and then generate card advantage for me.
Wild animals I like. Keep draw and fire.
If they have like an Eldest Reborn here, we're gonna be pretty sad. I'm kind of light on threats, which like isn't too surprising. Contempt's better for us than Eldest Reborn at least, because that's not gonna generate more card advantage past that. I was gonna go to sleep, and now I can't. It's gonna Divik. Alright, so this deck does have a lot of lands in it. There's 26 lands in this deck, but at the same time, 2 of them are copies of Memorial to Glory. So one of the ways I always like to think of lands, and especially these more mid-range decks, is that rather than cutting lands, if you think you're going to flat out too often, I'd rather just play more utility lands. So let's do that. Play this. No, I don't really get into too many comic books. That's really unfortunate for me. Probably need to draw a Vivien or might pack it in here. If we draw a brick, I'm going to go ahead and just move along with our lives. Alright, that's a card that does stuff, I guess. Alright, dome you for 3 in response. Just saying that I think either Birthing Pot or Stoneford are going to be unbanned because Ultimate Masters bind up with the restrict announcement. Sure. Yeah, and I mean, like, it makes sense to unban along with the reprinting of the card, right? Because if you unban the card, the price is going to spike. So, like, having your unbanning line up with the printing means that you, like, prevent that price spiking away. If their hand's not good, Thorn Lieutenant in the History of Benalia here could potentially run away with the game. Man, 10 hours is a lot of sleep. I can't remember the last time I got 10 hours of sleep. It's probably before I had children. Are you hungry, opponent? Gobble, gobble. The spot removal on the knight's actually good for us there because it indicates that the opponent doesn't have a ritual set. So the 1/1 can't really attack into this troops here, but we do have the history token coming in next turn. It's a pretty decent one. It's going to have to be a 3/3 with pseudo hexproof. Would really like to hit a heroic reinforcements, would have been like the stones here, right? Just like make some guys and smash. I'm actually kind of impressed with what we have going on so far here, right? Like, I feel like they're playing a control deck and like they swept us and like we're kind of keeping up. Wandering Wind, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I think the mana bases we have available to us is part of why the standard format is good. Yep. I don't think that's all of it. I think a lot of it has to do with the mixture of answers to threats that we have, but I also think that the reason why that mixture of answer to threats is so good is because the mana is good. I think those two things kind of go hand in hand. It's like a decent draw. There's a lot of live rips in this one. Yeah, Heroic Reinforcement is a very, very powerful card. I've been consistently impressed with that one. How dead is Tajic? Not dead enough, apparently. How does changing your deck between matches in a league work? Seems like it's... Well, the results don't matter, Yachidi. So, like, one of the things you need to break yourself of if you're someone that's interested in getting better at playing a card game and, like, improving, especially tuning decks, is that worrying about the results that you're having in your game is the least important thing in the matches that you're playing. The most important thing in the matches that you're playing is learning from the results that you're having. You want to, like, some of the most successful testing sessions I've had involve, like, never winning a game. In fact, when I ask someone how their deck is doing or how their testing's going, and like all they do is like tell me their record, I'm like, well, no, how's the testing going? Because like it's if you watched any of this morning stream, we ranted about buzzwords for a little bit. Like telling me your record's kind of like just giving me a buzzword. It doesn't actually tell me anything meaningful about what you've accomplished. Yeah, definitely alcohol. So I always like to start with things as they're submitted unless there's something super glaring with them, and then I tune as we go. It's not necessarily that you strictly learn less while winning, but you don't always take something away when you lose. Like, again, like, just like the wins or losses aren't what the focus of your testing should be if your testing is good. Yeah, I've pretty much recovered from the plague at this point. If they counter this, I'm going to concede. I think Modern is a super degenerate format that leans in the graveyard in a lot of decks, so if your deck can play Rest in Peace, you should probably play Rest in Peace. How far am I away from the Shave Session? I don't know that I have... Am I logged in up here? Maybe I am. We are 71 people have picked up the Harry stuff, so we're a few off. Got 120, 29 folks. We're most of the way there. I'm actually going to post on it about Twitter here soon. So, Integrity, Intervention, and Response to Urgent Impulse seem kind of mediocre here. Lightning Strike seems kind of mediocre. Obviously, the extra Vivien's great against their flying creature. Carnage Tyrant's good against the control deck. They showed me they had copies of Nicol Bolas in their deck, so I probably don't mind having access to Lava Coil. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim a Shanna, because they have sweepers in their deck, which means she's less likely to get large on average. So we have the Harry's Razor sponsor, and if 100 people pick up the starter kit with Harry's Razors using my code, I'm going to use my wonderful Harry's Razors to baby shave my face when that happens. That JJ, 6 months already, and I have a pointy stick now. Come at me. I'm prepared to defend myself. Well, it's just a wooden stick. Don't taunt the mods. Their sticks are, their swords are steel. How much money do you reckon you've put into Arena? I can tell you exactly how much money I put into Arena because my Arena purchases get written off of my taxes at the end of the year, so they're business expenses. I believe it's just under $1,100 at the moment. I guess I'm buying a razor now, maybe 10 for a friend. Don't do that. Don't cheat the system. But pick one up for yourself. I think you're going to be very happy with it. It's a good product. Is Honor Guard a consideration against Bolas and Chupacabra? I didn't consider the fact that they showed us Chupacabra too. Yeah, maybe Tecatli Honor Guard is just better than this this Legacy actually. bit.ly/Hoogleshave. And check them out there. Mana looking a touch awkward here. I can't cast my Legacy on 2. I can't cast my Benalia on 3 at the moment. That being said, if we rip the white source next turn, did not, drew another uncastable. Alright. I think the mana's okay in here in theory. Need to go back and count it again, but the numbers looked okay on paper, which it doesn't mean, just because the numbers are okay in paper, statistically, doesn't mean they're going to work out every game, obviously, but... I don't know. I think it depends on what they're replacing, Zaka. I think just like generically saying you should never board this card against control is like pretty short-sighted. I think there's definitely like you could argue like this card versus control is also pretty lackluster. So like replacing it with an honor guard like doesn't seem terrible. Is a standing desk worth the cost? I think it is. If you're someone that uses the computer for more than 3 or 4 hours a day, I think it's worth getting the standing desk. Your body will thank you as you get older. What's going on, Button? Thanks for dropping by tonight. It's like small upside. Like Chupacabra is just like one of a very small amount of things that they have in their deck. This heroic reinforcements card is so good. Maybe I should play History of Benalia here. Yeah, I'm gonna get syncopated and feel real dumb. Or disdainful stroked. Yeah, okay, yeah. I got a little too excited because we ripped the land. That was a mistake. I should have played the history there. What deck would you say has great play against aggro and midrange? Jeskai control. Very, very good. Let's discard a card next turn. Adanto Vanguard. So can't double spell this turn, which sucks. I guess I'll do this, and then next turn I can Tajic and smash. Probably gonna bin the Emmara here, I think. We're gonna get to bring something back next turn. Oh, they took my Vivien earlier. I forgot about that. While playing Jeskai, I've struggled against aggro. I mean, I think if your Jeskai deck's built correctly, you can have a very strong matchup against aggro. A little strong hit. It's possible that playing the Tajic's a little too aggressive here because like they're gonna get to Ritualist me potentially next turn. And like I could potentially, gosh, that's aggressive. Like, I could have played the Adanto Vanguard, and that would be insulated against a Ritualist set. One of the things that I think is really great about a lot of the color combinations here, and again, that's one of the things that gives the format a lot of depth and replayability, is that you can pretty much build a lot of the popular decks in the format and the color combinations to have good game against like 2 of the 3 archetypes that you really want. Like Jeskai, green, black, these control decks, blue, black, like you can basically pick and choose like, do you want to be very good against aggressive decks game 1, or do you want to be very good against control and mid-range, etc.? Alright, so they have a Tajic of their own. They chose not to take a Vivien, so Tajic of their own implies that they're not going to have a copy of Ritualist of this turn, which is nice for us. Thoughts on playing 27 lands in the control deck and playing Detection Tower? I think Detection Tower is a steaming pile of garbage, and you should never register it. I think if you think your deck needs a Detection Tower to beat things like Carnage Tyrant, you should just play other better answers to Carnage Tyrant. Well, our mana was terrible that game, and we didn't curve out because of it, and we ended up winning anyway, so that's kind of sweet. I'm gonna chalk that one up to Heroic Reinforcements being great. I'm gonna bring in 2 Honor Guards over the 2 Sisay's Legacy. I think they're a little bit better here. I think there are a lot of good utility lands in Standard right now, and Detection Tower is just not one of them. The impact is just too low. Every control color combination in the format right now has decent answers to Carnage Tyrant without needing something narrow like Detection Tower. Black decks can play Doom Whisperer, they can play Phyrexian Scriptures, they can play Dire Fleet Poisoner. If you're blue-black, you can play the 3/3 Hexproof Death Touch creature. You can play other creatures that can kill it inside of combat. Yeah, Vivien's a really powerful card, and one of the reasons why Vivien is so good right now is because a lot of the really potent threats in a lot of these decks have flying, so evasion is good, and because evasion is good, Vivien gets better. Man, that's 2 brutal hands in a row. Would you believe we have 26 lands in our deck? This 5 is very good. And I will say this. I think that edicts tend to be a weak way to try and address Carnage Tyrant in general, because I think a lot of the decks that have Carnage Tyrant have lots of creatures in them, but edicts in conjunction with other cards, and the Death Touch creatures especially. Okay, I'm going to play Thorn Lieutenant here because it leaves me a 1/1 if they have removal. The Thorn Lieutenant Tajic curve is really sweet because even if they kill your spell... Alright, counterspell works. I feel a little bit bad that I bottomed that 3rd land and then haven't drawn another one here, but even if we break on a land for the turn, like, I'm going to get to play threats out. See, Reliquary Tower in these decks where you draw a bunch of cards. I think that's some hot nonsense. I think if you have enough cards in your hand that you have to discard cards, you should probably figure out how to win the game with 7 cards instead of 9 or 10. And you should put a utility land in your deck that actually does something instead of Reliquary Tower. What's going on, Spook? Like, I've definitely played a number of decks in this format where I've had to, like, move to hand size, but, like, you still win those games, right? Like, you had to... If you're not discarding to hand size because you missed on land drops, you're winning the game. Feeling like we're in a pretty good spot here at the moment. Adanto Vanguard is exceedingly annoying for these black decks to beat, and it gives us some insulation against Ritualist here. Sure, you can take my Tajic, which is going to kill you, but then I have Vivien Reid to generate card advantage later. Gosh, Adanto Vanguard is so good. So we're going to get destroyed. I am going to concede to a Golden Demise here, but I think getting this down now and just like... Golden Demise is not super popular at the moment, so I think I'm willing to risk that. Johnny K, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. Knows a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff. Thanks for supporting mine here on Twitch. Welcome. Smashy, smashy. Yeah, I think it is Herbrist. It's one of the decks that I'm either playing that or Pirates at the Grand Prix. Huh. Alright, so now I'm going to play Thorn Lieutenant out because playing Thorn Lieutenant actually plays around Golden Demise, because if they Golden Demise, this one lives. This deck's really scrappy. I love decks that have aggressive. I love aggressive mid-range decks. They're decks that like can apply pressure and actually kill the opponent while simultaneously like being able to generate value and have some staying power in the mid to late game. I think that's just one of the best type of archetypes you can play if you're someone that's reasonable at Magic, because generally speaking, if you're better at Magic, you should want your games to go a little bit longer, because longer games have more decision points, which allows players who are better to leverage more skill on average. But you also, at the same time, if you're a good player, you should understand that you want some number of free wins where you just get to run people over. And I feel like aggressive mid-range decks tend to fill both those slots. Yeah, you're fine, Denon. Hey, I've 100% got Pirates locked in from you, so that's good. So if I decide on the Sultai deck, I'm going to try and get it from somewhere else. But if not, I'm happy with Pirates. Yeah, Green Black Zombie is a good example of that too. Is the thing not working? Oh, Twitch pub messages not sending correctly. Let me try reloading it. I just assumed Deckmaster was working because I'm using Windows, but apparently, you know, Windows. This is the operating system it supports. Why isn't it working? All right. Twitch pub message servers not sending. All right, I have no. Oh, maybe it keeps going red and not. I'm not sure if it's working. It keeps flashing between red and green, so I have no idea. Hey, Dwarf Lord, finally able to hop on live for the first time in a while. Thanks for your standard content, but digging it. Awesome, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I've been really enjoying making standard content. Game for the gameplay, stayed for the social media. Been watching your vids on YouTube at work. Thanks for the content. Holy Face, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. God, the Thorn Lieutenant Tajic curve is just so good. This hand just like, real decks have curves, chat. Real decks have curves. Just Thorn, Tajic, Heroic, Vivien, like this is so gross. My sub expires on the 11th, but I'm able to resub now. Is it better for you to resub more often or wait the full amount? It's all as soon as possible, Nestor. Makes no difference on my end. Just whatever's easiest for you. There's the uncastable goblin. If I want to build this deck but don't have the cards, what's the best way to get them? The credit card is the best way to get the cards that you want in Arena. The credit card is the most powerful card in Magic the Gathering. Gosh, this is so good. Just mentor my token. This curve is... No, Tajic's a soldier, right? Yeah, he's a soldier boy. Soldier boy up in your base, shooting rockets in your face. I mean, like, sands that settle the wreckage, they are pretty toasted here. I don't know that my Harry's alerts have been foobarred, I think. I don't think I have them set up here. Sorry, thanks, Rick. All right, I mean, you have a Teferi.
Let's slow this down.
Nestor, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back, and thanks for re-upping.
You need to take a time out.
All right, so they tucked that one in. So I get to go ahead and kill Teferi and 2 them, and then I get to play Vivien and kill Thief of Sanity here.
The wild wasn't meant to be. This is nothing.
Yeah, really, really good turn for us there. This is also good for us. It's like, yep, spin your wheels. Sure. So I know Tajic's on top of my deck, so this is at least getting Tajic. So then they're going to be forced to jump block here, because I'm going to grab Tajic and then just ram this board down their throat. So like they chump Tajic, and then take 4. There's nothing I can do about Deckmaster. If it's not working, it's just not gonna work. It's not on my end, it's on the Twitch pub server. Which is unfortunate. Alright, another control matchup. So Vivien, Carnage Tyrant in. Integrity Intervention. And Strikes out probably. Probably don't mind the Knight of Autumns. They're playing Esper, so they probably have some amount of enchantments. Is there an argument for making one token a 3/3? What would the argument be? Like, why is there an argument? The Thief of Sanity. That's a good question. So maybe I should have Shocks and some Strikes in my deck still if they were going to have Thief of Sanity. Minus Karn, what's my favorite standard Planeswalker right now? Probably Vivien. She's very good. She has a lot of good text on her, right? Like, for a 5-mana Planeswalker, her +1, like, so 5-mana Planeswalkers, you expect their +1s to generate card advantage, but the fact that her +1 generates card advantage combined with selection is very, very good. Yeah, seems super reasonable. It's like curve. Real decks have curves, chat. I'm gonna go post really quick in the Discord for Deckmaster. Yep. Well, my Deckmaster thing is definitely one of the things on it is red, so it's definitely might be an issue there. How do you feel about Rail? Rail's a very playable card. I think he's sweet. Yeah, welcome to the Space Jam, baby. Got a UMA promo that was bent. Is this Watsy's way of telling you to get bent, perhaps? Awkward that I don't have double green yet. I was kind of hoping they'd settled me there, if I'm being honest. Yeah, the mixture of how resistant the threats are in this deck is really appealing. I think utility lanes are great. They're the best thing we'll get to creature lanes this format, right? Yeah, just if we could stack our deck, chat, that's what would have been on top. Untapped green source.
You can't stop nature.
Oh, when your anti-control card draws you a second anti-control card. It's just so delicious, chat.
You were foolish. I know how this ends.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, opponent. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Just look at the parade of anti-control cards. Vivien's just like, I got your back. How about this other card that messes control up real bad? How about, do you like that one? Sure, you have destroyed Vivien's +1.
It is the ideal subordinate.
No one knows the
Do we
wild
instantly
like
alt Vivien? I'm not sure. Tajic. Yeah, it's probably a Tajic turn, huh? So I can do this, and I can do history plus Tajic. Oh, I could Knight the Thopter. Huh. Do I Knight the Thopter? I actually didn't consider that. That's a good suggestion. Alright, I kind of wish I would have gone Knight Tajic now. That's an A+. Yeah, I think they probably can never beat... They've indestructible. Yeah, just like nice cleanse. Good luck. You know what line of text Carnage Tyrant really needs? Indestructible. That's the line of text Carnage Tyrant really needs. Maybe this card will finally be playable if it's indestructible, chat. Oh no! Oh no! Rude.
Time is much more malleable than people think. This will keep an eye on you.
Alright, so... Which Planeswalker do I want to guarantee kill? I probably want to take Teferi off the table, right? Probably want to take Teferi off the table, so... I'm going to send these two into Tef, and I'll send Tajic into Tezzeret. We have a removal spell here for Tajic. Fungal infection. Rude. Okay, wow, that lets Tezzeret live, huh? That's a big deal. Alright, let's Teferi live, sorry. This guy. Let's this guy live. So they are going to get to draw a bunch of cards next turn. So I get to go ahead and put Adanto Vanguard into play, which Adanto is very good to have here because it means I have a threat to kill Teferi through a Cleansing Nova.
Let's skip to the good part.
A lot of the little details like Tajic adding an indicator, a visual indicator, that your creatures don't die to non-combat damage is fantastic.
A master builds with ease.
Yeah, I have auto stack off up here. Thief of Sanity, sure. This thing doesn't ult till 9, right? Yeah, so we got a hot second before that one's an issue. I don't think we can beat Settle the Wreckage here. So I'm pretty sure the line is don't play around Settle the Wreckage. This is definitely going to be in the realm of a concession settle. I think I'm going to send these two at Tezzeret and then these two at Teferi. Teferi tucked her in. And if they have a settle, it isn't just the game, but it's pretty close. I guess if they settle us, I get to go Carney T plus Adanto as a follow-up. It's like not the end of the world. They have a Moment of Craving or Vraska's Contempt here. They can keep both their Planeswalkers alive, so maybe I should have more aggressively targeted Teferi. Vile Offering. Wow, that is some technology. Oh yeah, First Strike Tajic, great. This card's got a lot of text on it, chat. I think I just play another Adanto here, just so I have something that plays through a Cleansing Nova. I'm drawing a lot of cards here. That being said, like, I've got Carnage Tyrant and this Vivien Reid left in the bank here still, basically, so we've got some play to us here. Like I said, like, my opponent's had 2 active Planeswalkers for a while now, and we're still in this game, which is kind of absurd. If they don't have a way to kill this Adanto, I get to slam Vivien, destroy this token, kill Teferi finally. I've run out of witty things to say after 29 mods. Thanks, Philly. Yeah, if they can't counter the Vivien, I'm gonna kill the token, kill their Teferi, and then it'll be like Adanto and Vivien versus Brutal. Woof.
Now we're getting started.
Maybe I deserve that. Maybe I'm just supposed to jam the Carney T. I'm gonna pay 4 life and destroy this Laptor. And, like, unfortunately now, Teferi is no longer in danger of dying to the Adanto Vanguard, and I think we've finally been ground out here. We'll see. The Carnage Tyrant might be able to come in, depending on if they've already burned 2 Cleansing Novas. No, just 1 Nova this game. Yeah, I think we're probably dead now. I think I should have played the Carnage Tyrant there, because, like, if their last card was a counterspell, I was just dead, whereas Carnage Tyrant would have given me the ability to, like, take the Planeswalkers off next turn. Was it 2? Did I miss 1? Oh yeah, it was 2. 1, 2. They know about the first Dino, Super 8. It's kind of curious that they made a Thopter there when Teferi wasn't going to die to this Adanto. I'm going to pay 4 to kill the Thopter again here. Yep. Or not. Alright, Barney, you're my only hope. You're the chosen one! Go forth and roar!
Hold that thought.
Vial Offering seems like a sweet card. I actually looked at this earlier. It's like a more... It's a moment of craving that can scale up bigger, which is interesting. I definitely looked at that for the artifact deck I had been playing. But ultimately decided I'd rather have Moment of Craving for Mono Red to gain health. Yeah, my opponent could have potentially had me 4 points lower. You are correct. Losing my Memorial feels bad. That could have been insurance for Carnage Tyrant against an Edict effect. There's a good chance they just have a bunch of counterspells in their hand, like, and if Carney T gets to smash through and kill Teferi this turn, we could maybe still be in this game. Alright. Don't settle me, baby. Still Teferi, and then these 2 at you. Concession settle. Alright, Teferi down. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Big dumb dino doing big dumb dino things, chat.
Right on schedule. No time for a break.
So we haven't seen a settle yet, and honestly, there's a chance that they don't play settle. We've seen Cleansing Nova and Ritualista, but I mean, like, there's also a chance they just, like, play a healthy mixture of, like, all the removal spells, all the sweepers. Demise, sure. Demise is a good one to know about. Yeah, like, there's a Golden Demise, too, so just, like, actually just playing all the sweepers. Alright. Carney T to Teferi 0. I have 6 mana to pump this still, so I don't need to play this forest yet.
Let's see how you respond.
And again, just like a testament to like my opponent had active planeswalkers for like close to double-digit turns this game, and like somehow we're still just like actually playing a game of Magic. No, I think there's a chance my opponent's deck is playing something like Eldest Reborn, because that card's just like a good Magic card, so I want to play my card out to insulate against Eldest Reborn. When you've had Planeswalkers out for multiple turns, but you're still so far behind, you need Thief of Sanity to dig into your opponent's deck. Alright, what you got? Thief plus the... I mean, to be fair, they have the City's Blessing. So you could argue it is in fact a combo for them. Okay, Adanto Vanguard is cute. Kinda. They don't really have the health total to like leverage Adanto Vanguard though. Thief is secretly a plane. It's like a planeswalker I can't attack, right? So do I gain anything by playing this out? I lose an extra creature to Ritualist if I play this out, but like if they have Ritualist, I kind of want them to play it to get rid of their Thief of Sanity, so I think I'm okay with that. What's my favorite 2-color combo? Probably Golgari. Or is it? I don't know. There's so many good things about different things in Magic. Could I have paid for this if I would have played one more land? No, they did X is 9 and I only have... Yeah, that's fine. You have syncopated my 2-drop. Resolves. Alright, believe it or not, there is not an answer to Carnage Tyrant in my deck. Oh, that's not true, actually. They could draw a Carnage Tyrant out of... They could draw the 3rd Carnage Tyrant out of my deck. There is a 3rd Carney T in my deck. Ritual is... yep, bye, friends. It's gonna be like Ritual into my 3rd Carnage Tyrant. This is about to be my 3rd Carnage Tyrant. I'm just gonna like eat crow and die. It is totally my 3rd Carnage Tyrant. Come on, reinforcements. Night of Autumn. Well, that's sad. Dang it. Why did I have to open my big dumb mouth? Why do I let my big dumb mouth open up and let the words fall out, chat? Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Do I attack? Am I supposed to attack? I don't think I'm supposed to attack, right? I don't think I'm supposed to attack. I think I'm just supposed to, like, hang tight for a second. I think I'm just gonna, like, make a 4-3 here and just, like, pass the turn. Yeah, they're forced to block, but, like, it doesn't do anything for me, right? What are they gonna do, attack me? I'm at 8. Like, come at me, Barney. Hey, cover, go blue. Thanks for the raid. Welcome to folks who are from there. We're hanging out, playing some Standard this evening. My opponent borrowed my extra big dumb dino and locked us out of attacking them just before we had lethal. Jumped on my computer to send this stupid notification. Thanks for the 33 months, Larinax. I appreciate that. Welcome back. CGB. Thanks. And thanks for the support. I appreciate that. Ooh. Man, it feels really bad that, like, we had it earlier in the game where, like, they had a window where they got to field our memorial, and if that hadn't happened, we'd have been potentially okay here. What is going on? I don't think I'm supposed to smash here. It's possible I should have smashed with Barney the first turn and offered the trade, because then my knight would have been able to attack. There's like 0% chance this resolves, right? You're just like sitting on a handful of counter spells.
I'm a survivor.
Unfortunately, I don't have a third Carney T because they killed our first one and they took our third one. I mean, I feel like I've waited at this point. I'm just supposed to, like, wait for heroic reinforcements or something. I don't know. We're up a game. If we end up slipping away from us, we can play one more. Now I'm locked into my plan, so here we go. I'm about to get syncopated for 30. What's going on, King? Welcome to a live one. Thanks for watching the YouTube stuff. Why should I play the forest? There's no value in playing the forest. Doesn't do anything. They left 2 lands up, chat. I could have paid 10 for that by playing the forest, but they also could have made me pay 2 more.
Okay, so you've got claws.
They deck 1 card before I do. How funny would that be if we just, like, actually deck them? No, I unfortunately do not have a Banefire. I'm on 3 Carnage Tyrant. I think Carnage Tyrant's just better on average. Like, we wouldn't even be in this position with the opponent being this low if we hadn't had the Carnage Tyrants. Yeah, Deckmaster is still having issues sending messages. I pinged Fuji in his Discord server, but I haven't gotten a response yet. Do they have, how many Tefris have we killed? We've killed 1, 2, I guess we've only killed 2 Tefris. There's no chance they have Settle in their deck. There's a chance they just don't have Settle in their deck as well, chat. Like, they've played multiple Golden Demise, multiple Cleansing Nova, Ritual of Soot, like, there's a chance just, like, Settle's not a card they're playing. Like, obviously we don't have their deck list, but, like... What do I still have in my deck to draw to? I'm through all my Viviens at this point, right? 1, 2, and the other one got syncopated. 3. I'm through 1, 2. I'm through 2, 3 heroic reinforcements or something. No blocks. Hey, Till LB, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. For keeping me employed here. All right. They have another fungal infection. I bet they're going to fungal infection their Carnage Tyrant and then block ours for 2, go to 1 and kill us on the backswing. Nice. Good line, opponent. Stream Decker should be working. Yeah, Stream Decker should be live. Treasure Map and Garner, great. All right, so they still have, what's it called in their deck? I think I'm actually gonna, they have Thief of Sanity in their deck, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim these and this and bring back in my Lightning Strikes, I think. Just as like reach / ways to finish Planeswalkers and stuff like that. Actually, honestly, the 2 Shocks are probably marginally better because of resource efficiency. Let's do that. Yeah, that was game 2. We're up a game. We won game 1. We had a good curve on the play game 1. So hopefully we just do that again here. I have to go back and look at that match. It's almost certainly I made a mistake at some point in that game. It's hard. It's always, whenever you look back on a game that like went on, you know, like 20 turns, even 10 turns, like there's no way I played it perfectly. Hilarious Max. We can't even beat Karn in Arena. Thanks for the 32 months. Welcome back. Trample directs any additional damage. So like for instance, if you block a 7 power trampler with a 2 defense blocker, you take 5 to the face. That's true. That turn I could have, oh, this hand is poop. I don't think I can keep Tajic turn 3 on the play. I think I need a 2-drop. Everybody can check close 7 and unkeepable 6 off their bingo cards. I'm going to keep this and hope to draw a red source. This might be greedy, but like, I get what? I only get 1 shot at a red source here. I don't know. If I hit the red source on 3 and just go Lieutenant Tajic reinforcements, like they'd probably just die. Like, hopefully we just don't draw more red cards. Rather want to draw castables or red land tier, ideally. Worst possible draw. That's actually worse than drawing a... That's actually worse than drawing a red spell, because it's just like a land that I don't need. They assume this is going to eat their -2/-2 card. Really? Oh, are we just getting like Ritual of Studded? Probably just getting Ritual of Studded and going to concede. Yeah, the bingo cards aren't really playable for Standard, unfortunately. Oh, Savits with the massive host. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're hanging out playing some Standard Night. Currently playing Naya mid-range. Although we're getting dumpstered a little bit by Esper control at the moment. Alright, for reinforcements resolves. Naya in Magic the Gathering stands for green, white, red. There are shorthand. That's weird. They're like pseudo, like, it's quicker to say verbally but longer to write out. So like Esper, Naya, Grixis, these things refer to specific 3-color combinations. When are they going to put Modern on Arena? Probably never. If everybody coming over from Savit's channel, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I play pretty much only Magic on this channel. We play a ton of Standard here on Arena. I play some Modern and Magic online as well. Little bit of background on myself. I am a former pseudo-professional Magic the Gathering player. If you've looked into any of the paper Magic tournament series that exists, I played in the Star City Games Players Championship 2 of the 3 years that tournament existed. Ooh, look at that. I love me some Big Dumb Dino, chat. I think I'm actually supposed to attack them here because then Big Dumb Dino is lethal next turn. We're just like not beating a Cleansing Nova this game. Let's just not even worry about it. He's dead, Jim. The Price of Fame here kind of bodes well for us because it means that they maybe don't have a sweeper next turn. What's going on, Brad? All right. Big Dumb Dino, I choose you.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
So, since they're at 10 here, if we get to untap with Big Dumb Dino, I'm probably going to need to kill Teferi. I probably want to put their planeswalkers in the ground here.
I am you're still one step.
Do I? Let's draw heroic reinforcements and kill them, hopefully. Well, that potentially does what I said, so now I'm going to make them have a counterspell. So you'll notice here, I've put a stop on my opponent's upkeep. And the reason why I want to put a stop on my opponent's upkeep is because this way, if they have a counterspell, they have to use the counterspell mana on their turn, or I can just kill them in response to a Revitalize. Had they not gone for the Revitalize here, I'd Lightning Strike them on their turn, and then they'd be required to use mana on their turn to counterspell, which means they wouldn't be able to Cleansing Nova me. So I think holding Lightning Strike and upkeeping it is better there because it means they then can't play a Sweeper that kills my Carnage Tyrant. Well, somebody might want to call the police because that was a little bit of a robbery. I definitely did not think that game was going to go that way, but Big Dumb Dino combined with a little bit of reach was real good there. So we're 2-0 so far with Naya Midrange here this evening. We beat blue-black control, followed by some kind of Esper brew there. Big Dumb Dino does it all. It slices, it dices, it attacks blue players and makes them sad. There's a link to the deck list on the screen, so I use the Stream Decker widget. You can also type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list with an easy import to arena button on there. This hand's very good. We are on the draw. It's possible that my Lightning Strikes would be better as shocks in the main deck just for curve considerations since I have so many 2s in this deck. Looks like green-black zombies. This is a deck we've played a little bit of on stream before. Or not quite. They've got Plague Crafters and stuff. I think I'd like to Emmara here. There's a good chance they only leave back one blocker next turn, and then we can Lightning Strike their blocker and then attack with Emmara to start making tokens. I think the 3 best decks in Standard right now are Jeskai Control, Izzet Drakes, and then green-black of some sort. One of the things that's interesting or kind of tough to evaluate about the Standard format is that there's a lot of different ways you can build green-black, so it's hard to say which one is actually the best. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if there doesn't end up being an objectively best green-black deck, and which iteration of green-black is best to play is going to change week to week, depending on which decks you're interested in beating. What's the payoff in these colors? So these decks have Carnage Tyrant to kind of go over the top of some of these other control decks, but the big payoff to playing something like Naya in an aggressive shell like this is you have a lot of flexible cards that are kind of scrappy against removal, such as like Thorn Lieutenant and Adanto Vanguard. Both provide a lot of resiliency against decks that are packing a lot of removal in them. So we'll get to go Legacy into Thorn Lieutenant here. What on God's green earth is that? With a 1/1 counter. Good lord. How do I ever beat that card? I don't have any actual hard removal in this deck, which might be a configuration mistake. Alright, so how do we beat that card? Immediately draw this. I guess I can 5+3 it now. What? Why is there a green card with haste? Where's the color pie, chat? Hold on, I have a response. Really glad this isn't a shock right now.
What's neat?
Alright, would love some heroic reinforcements here. That would let us smash in and kill Vivien. That is another Golgari Raider. Man, I think we're just dead to that. Yeah, I don't know that I've got... I don't know that I've got any good lines here. Does it have trample? It does not have trample, because trample's not a green mechanic. Yeah, I mean, I can take 4 from it this turn. This attack's not even good because it doesn't kill the Vivien. Yeah, we're just very dead here. These response / resurgences might just be too cute. I might just need some. I might just need some actual white removal in here. Just like get some. What's the flash enchantment? Ixalan's Binding could also be reasonable. Justice Strike is a good suggestion. That's the card I should play. Seal Away. Justice Strike's probably a good one too, though. You should ideally wait until you get the email back, Drew. I'll check stuff later tonight. Conclave Tribunal is actually a good suggestion, because I have a lot of 2-mana creatures here, right? And Conclave Tribunal works well with Emmara. Yeah, let's put some Conclave Tribunals in here after this match. Need to board in 2 cards here. Oh, what did I just misclick? 59 cards. Did I click something on over here? Yep. No, Undergrowth is a replacement effect as it enters the battlefield. It does have that benefit. You're not wrong. Ugh. All right, well, we're gonna be red-white aggro this game. Being just like having a good red-white aggro curve in the play might just be really, really good in this matchup. Should I have brought in Honor Guard? Like, we saw Ravenous Chupacabra, but like a lot of their cards don't really have enter the battlefield effects that I really care about. Honestly, the deck building interface would be close to good enough if it just let me resize the stupid panels. Can I just like grab the bar in the middle and like drag it up a little bit to like make the deck part bigger and the search part smaller? Hey, the mayor, thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. Let's see if I can get my conjecture deck on stream before the end of the week. Also, here's True John's updated list. Sounds good. Oh, feels bad, man. I'm gonna pay 4 life and kill this Stitcher supplier. Then I'm gonna lava coil this 3/1. Golgari Raider isn't an enter the battlefield effect. Golgari Raider is a 0/0. Golgari Raiders is a replacement effect as it enters the battlefield effect. It's like a clone. If Honor Guard affected the Golgari Raider, I would have brought it in. I'm just gonna pack this one in. Not enough going on. All right, let's add some Conclave Tribunals to here. Maybe I want Justice Strike too. I definitely want some Conclave Tribunal. Maybe I'll play a mix of the two. Spice up their, swap up the removal. How many 2-mana creatures do I have? This is 14 2-mana creatures. I might be able to even trim one of those. I'm gonna add 3 Tribunal. I'm gonna cut these responses. Bring in a couple of Justice Strike. This is probably just too cute. That's 60. All right, let's update the Update the stream decker real quick. Play one or two more before we move on to the next deck for the evening. Have a good night, Danon. Shanna's been okay. I don't know that I want to cut her just yet. I feel like I want to get a couple more games in. She has good potential with both History of Benalia and Heroic Reinforcements. Is Divine Vestige that one that turns tokens into 4/4 angels? If so, that card's kind of win more. So, if you'll notice, 2 of my 26 lands are memorials. And if you're paying attention to these games that we're playing, we're going to lose far more games to not having enough lands than to having too many lands. So in general, I think especially in formats like this where we have good utility lands, rather than cutting lands and hoping to get a little bit lucky, you should instead just play more utility lands. So if you think that perhaps our deck has too many lands in it, rather than cut a land, I would instead recommend adding more memorials to it. Yeah, the stream's been going really well. And tonight we had a very generous host from Savitz when he was all done, so that gave us a big bump for the evening. So I'm going to go ahead and lead on Sisay's Legacy here, and the reason for this is Adanto Vanguard is 3 power when it's attacking, which means it's kind of a non-bow with Tajic, because Tajic won't be able to mentor onto it. It's going to be a pretty good curve, so I can slam Tajic here, and then I can go ahead and attack. I think I'm just going to go ahead and smash. If they want to trade for one of these, that's fine. Did I change when I'm streaming? I added an evening day to my schedule. So I'm not streaming Thursday mornings anymore, and I'm doing Wednesday nights. So I'm doing 2 streams on Wednesdays. A shout out to Chase. What's going on, Chase? You think there's a potential well-positioned control-ish deck that relies on March of the Multitudes? I don't think so, at least not until we have better mana in the format. I think if there is going to be a good March of the Multitudes control, it could probably fall somewhere into Bant, and Bant probably is going to be better when we have Hallowed Fountain and Breeding Pool. You need blue shock lands for that color combination to work successfully as a control deck, I think. Am I streaming tomorrow since I'm taking time off to watch the Pro Tour? I'm actually not taking time off to watch the Pro Tour. I am just moving my schedule around a little bit on Friday. So I tweeted out what my schedule is going to be yesterday, or this morning. 2-4 is just a giant brick wall for us here. Feels bad. If we would have hit a land, we would have been able to slam Heroic Reinforcements on attack, but unfortunately we missed, so we can't. I might do a short stream tomorrow afternoon anyways. My plan is to do a bunch of Modern this weekend. I'm going to overlap the Pro Tour with some Modern. Definitely the limited portion. We have a bunch of Modern decks that have built up in the queue, and we probably won't have a ton of viewers during the Pro Tour, but Modern doesn't have great viewer numbers right now anyways, so it doesn't really matter. I don't do the whole MTG finance thing. I'm an adult, so when I want to make money with my money, I put them into actual investments. Man, these dinosaurs are much better when they cost 2 less. It's a really good 3-drop. Now, I think Adanto Vanguard just like one of the best white aggressive cards you can play in this format, and not playing it is a huge punt. So if they attack with the 2-4 here, I'm going to double block and basically trade my Tajic for their 2-4. That being said, I'm not willing to trade both of these for a 5-5, so definitely just going to take this lick for 5. Would really like to draw an untapped land here so I can go Adanto Vanguard plus Lightning Strike. Again, just like going back to the idea that just like cutting lands is incredibly greedy and silly in a deck like this. Just like cast your spells, cast your spells, cast your spells. You're going to lose far more games to not having enough lands than you will to having too many lands when you have good utility lands in the format. Also, another thing that I think enough people don't consider when they're playing these 3-color decks is playing more lands in your deck gives you the ability to have more colored sources, so you're less color screwed. You're color screwed less often when you just have more lands in general in your deck. I am currently standing. My desk has motors in the legs, so I can switch between sitting and standing while I stream. What happened with the Dredge video from today? I got fed up playing Dredge against a bunch of graveyard hate because it's not interesting or fun. So I decided to stop playing the league. We played 2 matches, which is my minimum when I'm streaming, so I was done. Alright, so this gives me Thorn Lieutenant, and then I might be stabilizing here. So I get to go ahead and throw Sisay's Legacy plus Lightning Strike at the 5/5. And then, like, I can get Vanguard and Heroic Reinforcements going. Thanks, She. Deckmaster is having some issues tonight. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. Something on Twitch's end. Alright, so I want to block here. I want to bump here. I want to bump here. I want to eat this. I'm going to take 2/4, go to 4. Yeah, if they have some kind of combat trick, we're probably just dead. We stumbled too long this game. No, I'm not playing more Dredge, Chef Seth. It's just not fun Magic to me. It's like playing decks that just get hosed by sideboard cards is just like the worst part of Modern. It's not interesting. I'm gonna attack with these 2 so that way I can go ahead and mentor this here. I want to leave this Thorn Lieutenant back so I can go ahead and bump off this Knight of the Stampede. I think Dredge was a deck that was kind of interesting to play, and then Creeping Chill just made it more like every other Modern deck, just like hyper linear. Like took away some of the grind factor and just like made it more of a Modern deck. So just like trade 1/1s here and I take 1. It's a pretty good one. So if I just slam this, how close to dead are they? Pretty close to dead, right? So they block here, they take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they're actually just dead, right? Yeah, if they have a thing, they could kill me on the backswing, but this card is so good. I just feel like Dredge really embodies everything that like makes me feel like Modern's not fun as a format. So I'm going to shy away from playing that on stream. Focus on the decks that I enjoy when we're going to play that format. We'll stick to the more mid-rangey decks that are semi-competitive. Lava Coil seems good here. They had a lot of X4s. Shock probably doesn't kill enough of their stuff. Vivien's a little bit slow. I don't know why all my cards are like really gummed up here. Can I put this in between here? Thank you. Like, why are all my cards slid over the bottom? Adanto Vanguard's probably a little bit medium here. Lyra Dawnbringer is actually probably pretty good because they're a creature deck that likely can't take her off the table consistently. Lyra comes in matchups like this against aggressive decks that are likely going to have a hard time removing her. How do you think the Elves matchup is versus Dredge? When you draw your Scavenging Ooze, your matchup is really good. When their deck kind of fumbles, your matchup's really good. When they draw Conflagrate really early and consistently, your matchup's really bad. It's just like a really typical Modern matchup, just like pretty uninteresting for the most part, and just like both decks are just like racing each other as hard as possible, seeing who can like get to the climax first. One of the reasons I locked into playing Elves in Modern is that Dredge doesn't have deck matchups. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Dredge doesn't have deck matchups and sideboard matchups. And I have two scavenging ooze like in the main deck of L's to help hedge things like that. So we've got that going for us at least. You know, I think this is actually the first time I've played against a starter deck on here. No, not really, Sensuna. It's really hard to make content for formats like that because they're not popular on Magic Online. And Magic Online in general is already, like, not terribly popular. So, like, playing a format that's not popular on the application that's already not popular is just, like, not good for my content stuff. While I enjoy playing Magic a lot at this point, Magic is my job since I stream full-time. So I tend to put my focus into formats that I enjoy that make for better content. Looks like it's my opponent's turn to stumble this game. When I play games casually, I tend to focus on more board games than anything else. Casual Magic feels weird to me. Like, Magic's a game that I just, like, view competitive through a competitive lens more consistently. Deckmaster's been working off and on tonight. Sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not. It claims the preview's working right now, but I have no idea if that means it's going to work for you. What are my favorite board games? Happy Pigs is one of my family's favorites. You get an arena client timeout. That's great. One of the things that makes Magic such an awkward casual game, in my opinion, is that it feels like it's really difficult to balance casual Magic. I feel like in order for me, as someone who has a lot of Magic experience, to enjoy playing Magic casually, I would have to, like, have a set of decks that are, like, well balanced against each other. Photosynthesis is A+. Photosynthesis, Happy Pigs, Clank, Everdell is actually a Kickstarter one that my wife got. And I actually have board game posts, like, formatted on my website. I haven't finished putting details in them just yet. I need to do that. I have played Azul. Azul is very good. My wife's a Kickstarter junkie. Christy's more into board games than I am. Like, we go to Gen Con together every year, more for her than me. My kids can't read and write yet. My kids are 3 and 4, so things like a D&D campaign or Magic are a little bit outside their capability. I think Christy kickstarted so many games at one point. Let's play one more. That was going to be my last one with this deck, but I want to play one more, hopefully against something that's more of a meta deck. Christy kickstarted so many games at one point that I think we currently have more games that we haven't played than we have played in my house at the moment. Yeah, it's weird, Drew. Playing things like deck building games or even generic board games with muggles it's just not fair in a way, right? Because, like, if you've played competitive Magic and you're reasonable at competitive Magic, especially deck building and competitive Magic, you just tend to just, like, be on a different level from the average person who doesn't do that. Yeah, it's a tangible Steam library. It's a tangible Steam library. This curve, can we take a moment and appreciate how disgusting my curve is about to be? Just like 2, 3, 4. Oh, God, and it got better. Just history into reinforcements. What is a tempo deck? A tempo deck, tempo refers to aggro control, which means basically it's a deck that tends to have an aggressive slant that's going to be, it's a deck that has an aggressive slant that has interactive elements inside of it, like removal or counter spells or something like that. Discard. The heroic reinforcements here on 4 is about to be disgusting. Just gonna kick up the jam. The other thing to note too, heroic reinforcements after History of Benalia, this gives all your creatures haste, not just the ones it makes. So this token gets to attack this turn too. Smashy, smashy. How much removal should a mid-range deck have? It depends on what you're looking to do. Mid-range encompasses a wide range of archetypes, so mid-range doesn't just mean your deck looks like this. So mid-range decks tend to have a secondary archetype with them, so your mid-range deck is either more aggressively slanted or more controlling slanted. A more controlling mid-range deck is going to have more interactive elements like removal in it. I agree, Genser. I think a deck specifically for people with unmodified starter decks would be a worthwhile addition to Arena. Pokemon TCG Online does that, and it's a great thing that they do. I am currently standing. I split my time while I stream standing and sitting. So usually I do about 2 hours standing, and then I sit down for 2 hours. Keeps the blood flowing when I go for a long amount of time. If you're an adult who uses the computer for long amounts of time throughout the day, I cannot recommend picking up a standing desk enough. Your body will thank you. A third of a way to our Twitch, baby. Glad to see some standard. Thank you, Particular, for the 313 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right, so those got a little bit bigger. All right, so History's going to pump up the jam there. If I jam Tajic, I can mentor Emmara. And then if they go eat Tajic or eat Emmara, and then, so they could go eat Emmara, trade with Tajic, take 9. So they can't do that, because they'll die. And I get to shock this in to give Tajic first strike. So I'm pretty sure we just A-space smash face, right? How often should I be standing over? So whenever feels comfortable to you. I would highly recommend picking up an anti-fatigue mat as well. It's like a cushion mat for under your feet so you get tired or your feet get less sore. That trade is very good for us. This feels like it was a win here. So we get to trade a knight, we get to eat a Thorn Lieutenant, and we get to knock them to 2. This is going to pop off next turn for them, but that doesn't really matter because my board's much bigger. Yeah, our curve is just very good this game. I'm at 19, so I probably just want to take this hit, right? Because like my 1/1s quickly turn into lethal attackers. Yeah, it was strange to me. So like I played a bunch of Pokemon about 2 years ago online, and I tried to stream a little bit of it, and it actually really surprised me how unpopular Pokemon's online presence was in relation to how popular the Pokemon IP is. So I think they're likely representing the token maker here more than Settle the Wreckage. Do you have issues with my knees, Blysan? I do not have any knee problems, thankfully. Yeah, March, I think this is March of the Multi. That being said, I'm going to smash here. We aren't here to not smash, chat. I'm gonna go ahead and power up this 2/2 so it can trade into this 3/3. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of elitism from Magic players towards Pokemon, which is funny because, like, we're playing a children's card game too. The Pokemon IP is great. I grew up on the Pokemon IP. Alright, you get some 1/1s. I mean, like, this fogs them for a turn. Now, I think Muldrolf is just a win more card. I think, like, what it does and how well it helps you not die just, like, isn't good enough. Our adult card game is 13 plus, right? So, damage happens. Alright, so they're going to get to flip Legion's Landing next turn, most likely, but I don't think that really matters. I guess I just Vivien and start plussing, right? Yeah, the Pokemon TCG has a lot of depth and complexity to it.
The wilds are my shield.
I don't think Legion War Boss is very good in Standard right now, in general. I think there's too many decks in the current Standard format that, like, look at this board state. Like, both these decks are playing to the board very heavily, and Legion War Boss is the type of card that excels when boards are not gummed up, because making 1/1s into your opponent's larger creatures just doesn't have any impact on the board. Alright, so they're playing tokens. They probably have some enchantment removal in their deck, so I probably don't mind having Knight of Autumn in mine. Justice Strike is probably not removal I'm interested in. Probably don't mind my Conclave Tribunals. Vivien's probably good because she kills enchantments as well. Lightning Strike probably a little bit weak. Lyra is good for going over the top of what they're doing. This seems fine. I guess Adanto Vanguard is pretty bad. They just have, like, infinite X1s. I'm, like, not paying health to keep it around. So I just, like, bring in some Carnage Tyrants to smash on through. I have 26 lands in my deck, so that seems fine. Just, like, leave a random shock in to combat trick people. I think this seems good. Yeah, I think I'm in for this. Let's do it. Pokemon TCG is very unique and complicated. I'd recommend just looking up a how to play video. There aren't a lot of parallels from Magic to Pokemon TCG because the games just function on completely different axes. What do you think about cutting lands in the draw? I think you should enjoy casting your spells and having keepable hands, so you should not cut lands. I don't know why people hate casting their spells. Play more lands, don't cut your lands. Play Magic. Chater, Tot, Shinobi, thank you for the 2-month resub. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for re-upping your Prime to support mine again this month. Did I ever get a chance to play Netrunner? I played Netrunner very briefly with one of my buddies during undergrad, but I genuinely don't remember how to play. I have no idea, Fatal Roundhouse. Honestly, the more I think about a new non-range shooting format, the more I kind of hope they just start with Ixalan. Alright, so I'm definitely playing this, and I'm playing this. The question is, do I want to smash? I feel like every problem I want to solve, the solution is add more tyrants, buff up, green, black, thank Pikes. No, I never played that one. I don't have time. So, like, most card games that don't have digital components, I just don't touch them anymore. I just don't have enough time in the day. If a card game doesn't take the time to, like, put their card game on the computer, I just don't even give it a try. Yeah, I agree. And honestly, like, one of the big upsides, too, is because this was the first format that the play design team got their hands on, the play design team could theoretically be testing cards for a new non-rotating format as they go to. Sure, there might be a lot of places that it could start. I'm talking about where my personal preference would be for it to start. Like a random mention in a log file with no official mention anywhere, just like is pretty meaningless. So wax papers, that comparison shows a fundamental misunderstanding for how Pokemon works as a game. And I'm not going to get into why that's a fundamental misunderstanding because there's a lot of details that go into it, but you should consider what supporter cards do in Pokemon. And if you think that, like, those cards are free, you don't understand how the Pokemon resource system works at all. Supporter cards are basically a type of resource in the Pokemon TCG that you need to manage.
I've seen things that would break someone like
Lyra is probably the one card in our deck that could maybe stabilize this board for us. Thoughts about Lich's Mastery, the card or the 5-color deck that Ollie has been championing? I played a lot of Rainbow Road in their expanded format. I played a little bit of Standard too. Last time I played Pokemon was like the beginning of 2016. All right, we are super dead. Got it. The card, I don't know, it's neat design. It's a mostly casual card. there's a lot of misinformation surrounding Pokemon TCG in my experience coming from the Magic community. Like, when I was learning about Pokemon, like, a lot of the stuff people were telling me about the game that were Magic players, I learned was just nonsense. I'm gonna stream some Artifact when it comes out, but my expectations are kind of low. They're casting a tournament this weekend, so I'll probably watch some of that when I'm not streaming or watching the Pro Tour, or probably simultaneously with the Pro Tour. But Valve seems to like have mismanaged a lot of the Artifact stuff so far, so my expectations are kind of low. Also, people I've talked to that have played a bunch of the Artifact beta have pretty much all said Artifact's constructed format isn't good, and I basically only play constructed, so like if their constructed format's not good, it's just not the game for me. Real decks have curves, chat. This curve is fantastic. Example of untruth with regards to Pokemon is the one that was just said here in chat. That Pokemon's a game that's full of free draw threes and Wheel of Fortunes. It's just not true. Those cards have a very real cost associated with them. Not only is Artifact doing this tournament on top of the Magic Pro Tour, but apparently they're not planning to cast it on Twitch, which is someone who like primarily plays card games to make content too in addition to fun. Like, it seems like Valve isn't going to be doing anything or much at all to support Twitch, which doesn't make any sense because that's how you should be promoting your games today. Yeah, I agree. Just one set constructed is often difficult. The deck builder has been going on and off all evening. There's nothing I can do about it. It's on Twitch's end. Sorry. I think Rampaging Ferostodon should stay banned. I don't know. Do we gain value from unbanning it? The red decks are already really good. Do they need need a tool that's potentially too good on top of what they already have? Yes, Wizards of the... As someone who's often very critical of Wizards of the Coast marketing for Magic Arena has been on point. They've done a very, very good job of marketing Arena so far. And it's not even released yet. They've done a good job marketing and the game's not even out yet. Lyra is fantastic here. I do have to shock to play her, but worth every hit point for sure here. They don't have a Doomblade, a removal spell for Lyra. She's going to take the game over very quickly. It's so weird. Arena seems like it lags more on this computer that's running Windows 10 than it does on my Linux system downstairs. Maybe I just need to restart. Maybe we've hit a memory leak already. But this computer's not shabby. The graphics card in it isn't amazing. It's a 1060 though. All right, I don't think we're dead here. Famous last word. So we're going to 23. And this is 14. This is 20. This is 22. So if I block like this, I actually go to 1 here. I guess I'll double block one of these. All this for standard Rakdos burn, please. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Yeah, getting streamers from other games to stream Arena is just smart on Wizards of the Coast part. It's just good marketing.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Am I dead now? I think I'm just dead now, right? So I can Knight of Autumn, gain 4 up to 7. They're gonna attack me with 9, 13 next turn, so I'm gonna attack for 26. I can block 4 of them, so that leaves me taking 18, and I gain 2 up to 12. You've had Arena lag all night? Yeah, maybe it's not just on my end. Right, so just count that again. They have 9, 13 tokens. I block 4 of them, and I end up at 12, which means I take 18 total, so I'm at -6. Yeah, so I can gain 4, gain 5, which puts me to 12, and I'm taking 18. 19 if they attack with the Tristani too. Yeah, so we're just dead. There's a deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. If you're on mobile or don't have access to that for some reason, please type !deck in chat. Yeah, sure. They lose due to first strike. You're right. But I'm dead without the Tristani attacking. All right, Naya midrange. I'm not surprised that this deck was bad. I don't know why this is sorted in weird piles like this. I'm not surprised this deck felt like it was bad against tokens. We beat up both the blue-black control decks that we played against and then the starter deck or whatever that was, but that one isn't really worth mentioning. I feel like this deck had reasonable tools against the mid-range interactive decks in the format, just like the combination of Adanto Vanguard and Thorn Lieutenant to be able to pressure our opponent with creatures that are resilient to removal felt really good. And the Thorn Lieutenant Tajic curves especially were great. History of Benalia combined with heroic reinforcements, also just another really great like mid-range style way to attack that's also very aggressive. This curve is one of the things that made the white-red aggro deck that we played a little bit feel really powerful as well. I think if you were expecting to play against a lot of tokens, perhaps I want some Settle the Wreckages or maybe even Deafening Clarions in my sideboard. Probably Settle the Wreckage, because Deafening Clarion kills a lot of my stuff. This deck was interesting though. If you're expecting to play against a lot of mid-range, I think this deck has a lot of play to it and very reasonable. All right, what are we?